Dr. Nima here, your expert in rhinoplasty. I'm responding to a comment about the different types of grafts in rhinoplasty. Basically, there's so many different types of grafts, so I'll do several part video series. But let's start with some of the most common ones. And more specifically, we'll talk about the two most common grafts that are located in the tip. I've had people ask me, how can you get my tip to stay up? And there are typically just two ways to do it. The first one is called a septal extension graft. And just for review, a graft is where we take cartilage from one part of your nose and put it somewhere else, or sometimes ear or rib, but that's basically we take cartilage from one part of your body, put it somewhere else. In a septal extension graft, we take cartilage from inside your septum, usually a little bit on the other side, and we use it to suture to the front of your septum here. So effectively, we're taking cartilage from inside the nose and bringing it and placing it to the edge of your native septum so that it becomes a little bit longer. In this scenario, you can see the nose is upturned in the first photo, and we're able to kind of pull it down because we've extended the graft. So that's a septal extension graft. It can be placed end to side. So if you have your native septum here, you put another graft over it, or you can put them on both sides, or it's a little bit more difficult, but you can attach them end to end and then have two little grafts on the sides just as a bridge to hold it in place. The second type of graft to support the tip is called a columellar strut. This is the columella, and we put a little strut in there that basically goes up in between. It is more floating, so it could be supported at the base of your nose down here on top of the bone, but it's not attached to the rest of your septum. A columellar strut is also great in people who use it. Typically, you have to over project the nose on the table, and then it'll drop a little bit because it is a little bit more floating than a septal extension graft. A columellar strut is also a great graft for tip support. In real life, this is like the shape of a columellar strut, so it's typically about 4 to 5 millimeters wide and somewhere between 2 to 2.5 centimeters tall. So those are two types of grafts to lift and support the tip and keep it that way. And if you don't have at least one of those two or some combination, then your tip is not going to be reassured to stay in the location that it's at. If you'd like to know more questions about grafts, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be doing some more videos on the subject.